Okay, this is a video on outdoor helicopters. The ones in the foreground here are the LIGHTHAWK XL. The one in the picture is, if you can see it, is the Interceptor. Now, with the XL, you can replace the battery, and the battery lasts longer, 8 or 9, as opposed to 5 minutes for the Interceptor. The only problem is this part here is the bottom blade that goes in this plastic part spins $15. Okay. Okay. So on the Interceptor, there's a little break down in here, down in this lower. It breaks off. It's $3. The problem is you can't replace the battery because it's just glued in there. It only lasts for 3 to 5 minutes, and the problem is you have to move it up into the middle position. So, and then the other thing with the Interceptor, it drops like a rock. So what I used to do is fly it up about 4 minutes up high, and then, you know, another, 3 or 4 minutes, and then fly it down low. Okay, now what I'm going to do is assemble these gears here. This one here with the, you can see it with the bar there, is the top, and it goes down this tube, and I'm just going to assemble the gears. Now this gear on the bottom one is held in, slotted. I'll show you that in a minute. This one is held on with a little screw, so I'm just going to show you how to assemble them in a minute. Okay, this is the gear assembled outside. You can see the tube there, that comes out the top. This top one here slots into the tube. This one here, you just put the very thin tube here, there's a little slot, and you tighten it down. Make sure you tighten it down good. So what I'm going to do now is just put this into the helicopter, and you'll see it, how I assemble it. Okay. Okay, there's the first gear in, and you can see the bigger tube here. As that gear is in, you'll see the little gold motor there. That's got to sit flush all together. Now, this gear has to sit in. There's a little slot, and it just sits in there. Now we're going to assemble the upper blade. Okay, now this is the whole thing assembled. Now, when you lay the blades that way, the little screw, there's a little slot, and the small tube just comes to the end. You slide it on and tighten it down. Tighten it down really good. Now, a second thing I just wanted to point out, on this tube, there's a little plastic. Now, before I assembled it, it came out. So watch you don't lose that. It's a very tiny one. What you might want to do is take that off, and if you're fixing this bottom one, put it in a little box and make sure you don't lose it. So what I did with the Interceptor, I decided not to replace it because you can't replace the battery. I disassembled it, and then when I came back I couldn't remember how this little piece worked on it. So I was very careful with this one to make sure I find all the parts. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just put it back together and show you the battery. Okay, this is the battery here, the silver, and there's a little white strap. All you do is you cut the strap, take the battery out. Now make sure when you put the battery in that the battery goes right back, and you might just, this red wire here that you connect to your charger and to the plug, just make sure that's sitting back a little bit, and that's it. So just be careful you don't, pinch that black wire. You might want to just take it off the landing gear on the other side, and that's it. Okay, now say you have an outdoor helicopter and you break it. This bottom blade is the bottom one that goes. All you can do is, there's a little screw here on the bracket. You tighten that down. Now what you do is you take it back and take the two gears off here. Now what you do is you put a label here because you want to make sure you get the distance right. So this distance from this bracket here is 1 1/8 on the LIGHTHAWK XL. Then all you can do is push it up and put some glue on it. Now I had one with a little plastic, so what I did is I let it dry and then I built up the plastic around the glue around the plastic and the rod. And then the other thing is, if you notice here there's a little slot, so when it's laying here, this little screw goes into a little hole, so you got to make sure you get that on. So you could put a little pen mark, but I found that there's a little slot, so when the blade sits that way, the screw is at the top. So you have to think when they put this together, how do they put it together? So if you know how to put it together, you can take it apart. So that's basically it. And then when the glue dries, take this label off and then scrape any glue with just a little knife screw, and that's it. That's all you can do. Other than that, you have to buy, the part is $15. Is it worth it to fix it? Who knows? Anyways, I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, this is the two outdoor helicopters. I just want to point out, when you take the XL apart, on this shaft here on the top, so when you take the top blades off, there's a little bearing and a black bracket on the tube. Make sure you don't lose that. Put it in a little box. Okay, and that's basically it. How to repair outdoor helicopters.